The Middle Ages was the time when people, despite the difficulties of their life, managed to meet their basic need for self-expression through art. To cope with the difficult times of the Middle Ages, people turned to the Church. That's why the Roman Catholic Church became the most powerful unifying force in Europe during the Middle Ages. The high period of the Middle Ages occurred during the reign of Charlemagne, who united most of the small warring kingdoms of Europe under his rule. And this meant that Europe could spend more money on developing its resources and trade, on building, and on education. Living conditions improved and all spheres of art were developing. The great achievements in art centered around the church and reflected its enormous influence. People built more churches. New style has appeared, Gothic style, which included beautiful stained glass windows and sculpted figurines fashioned by anonymous artisans. The history of the church and its art mirrors the history of Western men during the Middle Ages. The early Christians see Christ as a fisher of men. As the Christian era progressed, men developed new ideals which greatly altered the classical artistic style. The Christians rejected the human body as pagan. That's why, when medieval artists did portray the human figure, it was angular and flattened out. In the early illegal days of Christianity, Christ was worshipped in secret. But in the early 4th century AD, Emperor Constantine accepted Christianity as the state religion of the Roman Empire. Early church architects modified the design of the Roman public assembly halls to suit the needs of their religion. In the 4th century, Emperor Constantine had moved the center of the government and the church from Rome to Byzantium, whose name he changed to Constantinople. He also brought to the east the artistic style of classical Roman Greece. In Constantinople itself, the famed Hagia Sophia was erected during the same period. And one more important moment, that in a Byzantine representation, the Christ is a dark, bearded, spiritual young man, very different from the youthful classical type found in the West.